You won't want to be friends with me if you think that we will have a shared value of hating men, but also if you think that we'll share the value of being lazy adults. Neither of those things apply to me. When I talk about what it means to be an unpunishable single woman, inherently that requires you to respect human beings. Dignity is key, recognizing your own and recognizing the dignity of others, and that does include individual men. Absolutely, we can critique, we can discuss, we can analyze misogyny, patriarchy, right? We can do all of that because it's a necessity in the world that we live in. It's a systemic reality that has real world implications for women that can't be denied. So yeah, we can talk it up, we can chat it up about that, no problem. But I don't hate men. I do not hate every individual man I meet either. And that is often a lazy, easy accusation that that people will, try to put on me. No. And that's not how I make friends with other women, really. That's not a shared value that I could have in a friendship. But equally, like I say, a lot of women struggle with the way I hold myself accountable. And that is often the root. That's a framework, a key part of the framework I live by. And so I'm never going to say that a woman is right even when she's wrong. Sorry, that's not me. Because for the welfare of all humanity and even our own micro communities, that's not helpful. We know the role that women play in the family setting. We know the influence that women have over their children, and that includes their sons. Right? We're talking often on a systemic level about the way adult men and young men show up, but that starts in childhood. And I saw a comment recently on one of my posts where someone said, oh, you're blaming women by talking about the fact that character development begins in childhood. No, I didn't blame women. And it's also true that when it comes to power and influence, women who are raising children have it. So yes, you might be, we are a part of an oppressed group as women, systemically. But in the system of family, which is a system of power, women are hugely influential. And if they are the stay-at-home mother or they are the primary resident caregiver, they do have accountability for the way they raise their sons and daughters. They do. That's not about blaming women. So many people struggle when I talk about the fact that there are emotionally undeveloped women, and automatically you want to blame patriarchy. No. When we get to an age where we have agency and autonomy as women, when we become adults, we might not be able to undo our childhood. We might not be able to undo what we were and were not taught by the primary caregivers in our lives, but we have a responsibility and opportunity. And now with all of the information available around the nervous system, brain development, you are being invited to do the work. You cannot keep harping on and relying on these systemic injustices and the poor behavior of men collectively to excuse your own poor behavior as an adult woman. No, your children deserve more. You deserve more. And so one thing is, you and I could never be friends if you want to be right in my eyes when you're wrong. Now, that doesn't mean I'm going to abuse you or shame you. Never. But what I will always do is be fair. And you may have noticed from my content, I am very fair across the board, because ultimately we are all human beings, even amongst the injustice, the systemic injustice that exists, that oppresses and marginalizes and harms women. Within that, though, on an interpersonal level, in terms of the way we treat each other as women, in the terms of the way we do parent and mother our children, in the terms of the way we turn up as sisters and cousins to one another, we have to still be accountable. And if that's not for you, then being an unpunishable woman isn't for you, because an unpunishable woman has integrity. She has integrity. She can hold two truths at once. She can have grace and love for herself and other women and their experiences, and also say, do you know what? I can do better.